We've been able to move from Maryland to recently Lexington, Virginia. We have a digital advertising agency, and most recently we have a farm. Davey and a few friends bought 40 cows and 2 pigs. We have a couple hundred turkeys and ducks, and it's just a completely different lifestyle, but we're having a lot of fun. If Showit hadn't come along and we hadn't started these templates and we hadn't made the decision to go off on our own and do something that was probably seen as pretty crazy at the time, we wouldn't have been able to live this life that we have. I think I've always been a creative. I loved art class. Any sort of school project that had an art component, if it was like write a paper or make a poster, I was gonna make the poster. It wasn't until I started to get older and I was the editor of the school paper that I really discovered that I love graphic design. So I went to college and I studied graphic design. So post-college, post-internships, I started my business. And at the same time that I was a web designer, I was also starting to become a wedding photographer. I met a friend who became a really good friend, Natalie Frank. We were wedding bloggers, we were photographers, and then I was also starting to design other creatives' websites. It takes tons and tons of pages and lines of code to make a website work, and if you miss one semicolon, it might all break. I realized pretty quickly that if I was coding a website for somebody else, unless they knew how to code, they weren't going to be able to ever change it themselves. So they always had to come back to me for their edits, and I probably would have gone on coding for the rest of my life because I thought that that was the best way to build a website. It really wasn't until I met Todd, the CEO of Showit at WBPI. He was like, I know that you love WordPress and I know that you are totally happy coding and you would probably do that forever, but just look at this because this is an HTML5 website. It's not Flash anymore. It's like print design. Like you can put things wherever you want and it's beautiful and it's so easy for your clients to update it. From that point on, I was like, all right, done, sold. Goodbye code unless like I really need to. Hello, Showit. This is gonna make everyone's life so much easier. As those two businesses grew, Natalie and I also started to become really involved in networking and bringing communities together. And along with our husbands, we ended up founding the Rising Tide Society. And that grew from a few networking groups on the East Coast to probably 300 plus groups around the world. And we ended up partnering with a company in San Francisco. All of a sudden we found ourselves spending a week or more of every month in San Francisco. We found ourselves in a lot of meetings and having to do reports for boards and just a lot of corporate things that we weren't used to. Davey and I found ourselves at a point where we were either going to need to move to San Francisco or think about leaving Rising Tide Society. We were at a conference and one of the speakers was sharing this illustration of like how much time we have left. And we really started to think like, how do we want to spend? Oh no, I'm gonna cry. And I didn't want to spend the rest of our days in an office in San Francisco. And so we decided that we needed to make a change. And as hard as it was to leave this incredible community that we built, we decided to say goodbye and we started dating Krista. So at the time we left, we knew we loved marketing. We knew that I love design and I wanted to work one-on-one with clients. And we had a vision for starting the template shop, but we had no idea what it could possibly become. I thought that just selling a couple templates a month would be like great passive income. And I had no idea that it would become the bulk of our income or that it would give us the freedom and flexibility it has. We can choose projects that we're really passionate about, that we enjoy doing. And I think because we're passionate about them, the design work is so much better. And so I enjoy it, and then our clients end up with a more beautiful, better website that serves them well. I don't have to go in and edit DNS settings and worry about installing WordPress and all of like the technical stuff that I'm not really passionate about. Showit's team handles all of that, and it's seamless, and it just gives our clients the best experience. I work like a few hours a day and I get to spend a lot of time with our son Jack, and we get to take him to school and he doesn't have to go to daycare all day. And so it's all just seamlessly come together in a way that I never could have imagined. When we pick him up, we'll come home, we'll make peanut butter and jelly, and we'll sit on the front porch together and normally watch the cows or tractors because that is one of his favorite things right now. We'll run errands together, we'll go watch Dada do the farm chores, we'll feed the chickens and the pigs, and then have a family dinner together. Just because your life is heading one direction and you're having a lot of success in that direction and you have like crazy opportunities doesn't mean that you have to go that way. It's okay to walk away from it and do something that just seems crazy at the time, whether it's starting a farm or starting a new business or moving away from your family to a new town. Because if you can see something in that other opportunity that you might find more joyful in the long run, I think that is going to pay off. And when you're doing something that you're incredibly passionate about and that you love, your work is going to be so much better than if you're doing something just because it pays well and just because you've had success in it and just because it's what people expect you to do. I'm in awe of the life that we get to live and the way that it's all balanced between the different businesses and our family time and our friend time and community time, and that we don't have to worry about working 24/7, that we have the freedom and the flexibility to like truly relax.